We spoke on the phone and he said, that creature is more me than me. Just seeing his eyes are extraordinary. He's a very profound person. I like staying in haunted hotels. I took the haunted room, and in the middle of the night I heard a murder in the middle of the room. I heard the screams of a woman being murdered and the sobbing of a man after the murder right in the middle of the room. I felt like a creature that didn't fit quite well in the human world. For this reason, I always identified with the creature. Then as I became a director, I identified with Victor. When I was a kid, Pinocchio and Frankenstein became the two most compelling images of what I think I felt like as a kid. I felt like a creature that didn't fit quite well in the human world. And they came to represent that side that was very painful as a kid. I didn't grow up the way that kids my age were supposed to behave. I felt like I was 70 when I was 7, and I preferred to read books than play football. I was indoors and not outdoors, and for this reason, I always identified with the creature. Then as I became a director, I identified with Victor, with all his defects. And I thought, well, maybe we can tell a story of fathers and sons from both sides of the story and find a chance of reconciliation and forgiveness, which is a very different dimension to the tale that has never been done before. In the first Zoom call we had, you know, he very much had already expressed interest on the part. When Andrew Garfield was doing it, he said to my makeup and hair people when he was shooting Priscilla in Toronto, he said, I should be playing that creature, you know? And then we spoke on the phone and he said, that creature is more me than me. People can only see the outside, but inside I am more that creature than anything else. And we talked about Catholic dogma, this and that, and just seeing his eyes are extraordinary, and he is an incredibly serious actor. You talk to him and the questions he asks, none of them are glib or superficial questions. He's a very profound person. So, you know, I immediately hung up with him, and I had been texting with Oscar after every interview with every actor, and I texted him after that one and I said, we found him. Yeah, I mean, I was very, those are 5 berries, very Catholic. I was part of the Society of the Virgin Mary. I studied Jesuit school from kindergarten all the way to my final years in school. And then I lapsed. I lapsed as a Catholic, but the cosmology, the idea that a father sends his son to be crucified, to learn about pain and to learn about using that pain to cleanse the sins of others. All that is in the movie, you know, and basically the blind man says it very beautiful. To know who has offended you, why they have offended you, and yet forgive them, that's the true measure of what it is to be human, you know. And I think we are in a very dangerous times philosophically. You know, we are in times where ruthlessness and lack of forgiveness and lack of understanding are seen as virtues, and I don't think they are, you know. So I wanted to talk about something urgent not about science or AI or any of these things. I'm not afraid of science. I'm afraid of blindness, human blindness. And that's what the movie is about. And in crafting the creature and the lab and the way he is crucified when he's resurrected. He has a crown of thorns, he's on a cross, he has a red mantle over his shoulders, he has the wound on the side. There's so many images of Catholicism in the film, and he resurrects. On the third day after the battle, he resurrects. There are so many things about it that I think give the movie a spiritual dimension that no other Frankenstein has ever had either. Not only do I believe in the supernatural, everybody in my family, in my neighborhood, my city and my country believes in the supernatural. In Mexico, if you say, oh, my grandmother visited me from the grave yesterday, you say, pass the tortillas. It's like, it's okay. I like staying in haunted hotels when I'm shooting or when I'm scouting, and most of the time, nothing happens. But once in New Zealand, I lived through a haunting in one night. The hotel was empty for the season, and I took the haunted room. The rest of the scouting crew took the other wing of the hotel, and in the middle of the night, I heard a murder in the middle of the room. I heard the screams of a woman being murdered and the sobbing of a man after the murder right in the middle of the room. And I spent the night with my earphones and my computer watching The Wire, because I didn't want to turn around or look at anything because I was so afraid. And then the morning came and we left the hotel. But most of the time, I stayed in 2 haunted hotels in Scotland. Nothing happened, but it feels weird. It felt weird, but nothing happened. I'm completely against it. I will never use it. I refuse to consider it. And I'm glad I'm 60 because I'll die hopefully before it takes over.